Hello, everybody. How is everybody? We are live once again here at 1111 True Crime Time. How's everybody doing? We're going to be talking about Kada Scott. And the sad news has come in that Kada was shot in the head. And there is a lot more details. This case is unraveling faster than I can even keep up with the news. So there is some stuff I want to show you that's going to... Okay, listen, Gabby. you, Gabby. Remember Keon, King, the suspect's little friend, Gabby, the TikTok Gabby? She makes my eye do that. Does she make your eye do that? Some of you referred to her little video, her 8-minute and some video, as almost like a hostage forced to read, hostage note or something. Because it was so staged. And remember how she just, nope, I'm sorry, I ain't calling no cops. Right? But that's because of how she grew up and all this. But yet her mother called the cops because it said so in the little thing she shared when Gabby was arrested. So now the internet sleuths, our beautiful friends, have went digging and the truth is all out here. We're going to be looking at how Gabby's on bond. Why? Because she has horrific charges. Okay, so I just thought we'd start it off with that news. So things have changed a little bit. Now we have a co-worker that we have the information on that. So Gabby, okay, where do you start? Let's go back to the beginning of the day. Some point in the morning, I'm not even going to try with the times of the calls and so forth. I'm just going to let you know how the flow of the day went from what to the best of my knowledge. Gabby is in contact with Keon King throughout the day, like many, many times. There's even a plan to connect. Some of the texts, there's only been a few of them released. One of them is actually from Kada herself to Keon's phone. And it basically says, kidnap me again. That's weird. We have no context. We have no tone. So it could mean so many things. It could mean a joke that ironically plays out to be horrific. Or was there some prior altercation? We don't know. So then she goes on a date. This is where it picks up at. So they're texting throughout the day. Remember, she's already told family she's being harassed. And I do want to bring this up while it's on my thought. The harassment had just started in the last few weeks is timed exactly with her starting this new job at this assisted living center where medication, including narcotics, are administered and received at the facility. Now I'm a med tech, so this is my home playing field. We have Gabby over here, that this is her neighborhood pharmacist, Keon King, also known as Elliot, also known as a lot of different names they say. He's the pharmacist. So the harassment starts when we have Kada starting this job. You feel me? There's something here. But when your gut tells you, your intuition fires off like that spidey sense, you're usually right. And when it came to Gabby, I want us to remember some of the things she says. So let's jump over and listen to this before we read Gabby's. Well, actually, I grabbed a little clip from Fugitive TV, so go check him out. But I'll give him a better shout out in a minute. But before we get there, drink in how Gabby even tells us she had no idea he would do something like that. That nowhere in this world would she believe that he could have committed anything like any of this history that she has now heard about on Keon. She just didn't believe he could have a history like that. Really, Gabby, because yours is almost worse. But that's my opinion. That's my opinion. Okay, let's get into this, you guys. Are you ready for this?
Hi, my name is Gabby, and I'm going to be discussing some of the misinformations that are going around in the internet regarding me and the Kada Scott situation. So, if you are unaware, Kada Scott is a girl that went missing in Philadelphia on October 4th. So I did know Keon. He was my friend. I met him about 4 or 5 years ago, and he was also the local pharmacist. Now, me and my best friend, we were also mutual friends with Keon. He was our pharmacist. So one day Keon calls me, and keep in mind
Whoops, as we pointed out yesterday, that is a lie. Gabby's starting off with a big old fat lie, and it ain't just a little lie, it's a fat lie, because this entire thing is based on the concept that Keon King is so obsessed with Kada that he has now taken it upon himself to start just calling random people that might know Kada. And so he has prompted this entire thing. He is calling Gabby to just ask her, and she's so innocent, she just doesn't even think about the fact that she's telling him basically where Kada lives. But the truth is, she called him. Obviously it was about Kada. They are looking for 2 other suspects besides Keon King. Okay, let's get into this. But yeah, she's trying to tell us exactly, was a pharmacist providing goodies to these girls, Eloise. And okay, let's back up before we get into more Gabby Gab. All right. Where was the pharmacist getting his supply? Again, it's so interesting, the timing. Kada Scott starts her job a few weeks ago. Kada Scott starts getting harassed a few weeks ago. She's abducted from her workplace. Just weird. Just weird.
I'm in school. I am in Maryland. And
please tell us one more time that you're in Maryland.
He will usually just call me, just to check up and talk. So he calls me and he asks me if I know Kada. And I'm like, yeah, I know Kada. And he's like, oh yeah, I noticed that she lives really close to you.
Okay, wait a minute, but Gabby, you're going to tell us for the next 20 minutes, which no, it's not, because it's an 8-minute video, but for the next 7.5 minutes, how you barely know her, because you know her little sister, not her, but when it comes to Keon, you know Gabby. Yeah, I know I know Kada. Kada, yeah, I know her. I can tell you where she lives. I can tell you everything.
I'm like, yeah, she lived right in the back of me. And I'm not thinking...
She lived right in the back of me. And I'm not thinking nothing, right?
Nothing of it, because he usually calls me and, we just be chatting. He'll call me about, the people that be around, because he is the pharmacist. I live in the neighborhood. And
so when she says he is the pharmacist and she be living in the neighborhood, sounds to me like she's the one running. He comes to Maryland and she does the, Uber dive. Yeah. It's my thoughts.
In my neighborhood. So
your neighborhood.
He took the phone, and that was that. We were only on the phone for 29 seconds. So you can see that this is the day that he called me, and this was before Kada went missing. And we were only on the phone for 29 seconds.
No,
Also,
Gabby,
I
you
know
called
that his
him.
name says Elliot in my phone. That's just what we call him. So a couple.
Okay. Let's listen to this one. Now look here. Over here, I said 15 minutes yesterday. I have to correct myself. She called Keon back after finding out that Kada was missing, and they talked for 2 full minutes. Now listen to this.
Overnight. So I'm in my friend's dorm and I call Keon, and it's a lot of music and a lot going on in the background. So I go somewhere that's quiet and
Okay, why do you got to tell us all that? Why do we even got to know that you're at your friend's dorm, or that there's a lot of music going on, and that you got to tell everybody to be quiet, but they won't? So you got to go down the hall. No, you're the one making the call. You're going to go to a quiet place to make the call. So why do we got to know the back history? Does anybody feel like that's just too much? Oh, Juliet is my Shih Tzu. You are going to learn so much about Gabby today.
I tell him, Keon, Kada is missing. Like, that girl, she's missing. So he was like, what? And then after that, the phone just hung up. So here you can see that I called Keon and we were on the phone for 2 minutes.
It's weird. It says outgoing, meaning she called, right? Yeah. Because she's the only one calling him so far on everything she showed us. Hey, Just Be the Light. Hello, lovely. So she says, hey, that girl, Kada, is missing. And he like, what? Click.
Minutes. So you have to keep in mind, this was my friend, okay? I did not think that he could be capable of anything like this. In my head, I'm just thinking, there's no way in the world he could have did something like this. There's no way in the world. So then, overnight.
Wait,
So
listen to that last part.
In my head, I'm just thinking, there's
In my
no way
head.
in the world he could have did something like this. There's no way in the world. So then.
Oh, okay. Well, let's jump over to our friend here, Fugitive TV. He's only got about, I don't know, maybe 10,000 subs. So give him some subs, give him some love, and listen up, because hats off to him. He went and did the hard work for
Come to
us.
find out, this woman has charges. She's out on bail herself. She got charges, almost the same type of charges that Keon has, for terrorizing, conspiracy. Why didn't she talk about that in her TikToks?
Yeah.
Now, like I told you in the beginning, Gabby's not innocent, you guys. She's definitely not innocent. I already had my doubts about her, and a lot of you guys did too. Now, check this out. Gabby's, I believe, out on bond as we speak right now, okay? This right here, the initial date was back this last summer, July 30th, 2025. That's when it was filed, okay? It was filed July 30th, 2025. Now, let's look at this here. Her co-defendant is Dante Murray. Do you guys know who Dante Murray is? That's from in that area. That's her co-defendant. Now, let's get down to the charges. Now, check these charges out. She has possession of instrument of crime with intent. Possession instrument of crime with intent. Then she has terroristic threats with intent to terrorize another. That's pretty similar to what Keon had. Okay,
Yeah.
or even has. Now she's got another charge on here, conspiracy. Now, the dates of all of these are before she got arrested. This is March 22nd, 2025 is when this happened. Then she's got a simple assault. After that, she's got recklessly endangering another person. This is the same exact charge Keon has. Keon has this charge too.
Thank you, Debbie.
Recklessly endangering another person. Then she's got aggravated assault. Attempt to cause SBI or cause injury with extreme interference. This woman, earlier this year, pretty much has the same charges as Keon almost. That is very interesting. Very interesting.
Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me, Gabby? Bad girl. Bad girl, bad girl. Who you gonna call? Well, you're not gonna be calling the cops if you're on bond because you got these kind of things. So, no, I would have how dare her? How dare this girl listen to her?
Yes. And after that, the phone just hung up. So here you can see that I called Keon and we were on the phone for 2 minutes. So you have to keep in mind, this was my friend, okay? I did not think that he could be capable of anything like this.
But she's capable of this. But she's capable of it herself, so how can she not believe that her friend, I mean, you know, birds of a feather flock together. I think this is all going to come back to be related somehow to a rug situation back at her work, right? And I think the rug situation is unraveling right beneath the feet of Gabby. Yeah, she protests too much, Allison, with a dodgy, shady background like that. Yep. Hi, Panda. Hey, Jennifer Swain. Hey, Carla. Big red flags, right? She's capable of helping him, in my opinion. Right, Carla? And they're looking for they're looking for 2 more people. They have not said masculine or feminine or male or female. You know what I'm saying? I tell you, Allison, you said sounds like a pathological poo-poo teller in your opinion. When we smell poo-poo, we know there's poop on the floor. When we smell poo-poo, there's poop on the floor. Tammy sounds like it. I'm just saying, anybody else all like, oh, Gabby. Who's Devlin Tate, hun? Been missing 6 months? Aw. I'm so sorry to hear of that gentleman being missing. Devlin Tate. Let me see, where's chat? We'll get that on the board for everybody. Look up Devlin Tate and give him some awareness, you guys. Hey, nobody cares. How are you? Good to see you all. Oh, yeah. I do too. That's wild. Now that makes sense. Okay. Hey, Prime. Hey, we are going to be jumping over to Crime Story Mama, where we're about to do, we're going to dive deeper into Gus Lamont, who's only 4 years old, missing out of Australia, the outback. And, it's not the dingo ate my baby story. It didn't happen. There would have been signs of animals. And there's some concern. There's some real concern. There's foul play. But we'll see. Lake Odessa in Michigan. Panda Bear, you're not too far from me. Okay, so y'all, what do you think of all that, right? What in the world? Gabby got some splaining to do. Gabby done been caught. She's on bond for almost the same charges as Keon. Now, let me understand this. So, at 10 o'clock, a coworker overhears Kada at work say something to the long, and I'm paraphrasing, something on the phone to someone like, you called me over that shit? Or I can't believe you're calling me over this shit? And then she gets into a vehicle and drives away. Something ain't right. I'm suspicious of the coworkers because, like I said, I know how assisted living medications are tracked, and if there were no cameras there, that is weird. Mainly because you're dealing with narcotics, and usually the cameras are there to assure that the medicine's actually being given. But you could easily, unfortunately, say, well, this person had their medication, and no, they didn't. It got delivered to the pharmacist. If you feel me, if you're following my rug talk. Thank you, Debbie. You are amazing at giving links. I just appreciate that so very much. Yeah, with little Gus Lamont, the other case, you don't believe a word of it. Yeah, that's how I feel too. All right, my lovelies. What did the council worker say? I missed it because of the ad. I don't think I was talking about a council worker. You mean co-worker? Okay. The co-worker basically had stated that she overheard Kada on the phone say something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing, I can't believe you're calling me about this shit. Now here's my thing. I'm having a problem with how her iPad cover. Did she have a bag full of stuff on her when she went in the vehicle? Because if she's already at work, checked in, did she have the iPad in her hand and her phone in her hand? Both? Because they found her iPad cover and her phone cover in the abandoned old school. See where that don't work for me? Because why would she have her iPad or her phone at the same time? And then within 10 minutes of getting in that vehicle, pew pew to the head. Did Kid get to work and get kidnapped inside by a co-worker and somebody put "kidnap me again" as a signal? Was she actually, because there's no cameras, was she actually not willing to go part into this whole, supply the pharmacist deal? And so they were like, well, she's got to be gone. And so they hog tie her, and then they get her phone and they text the guy that's harassing her, trying to get her to be part of this deal maybe. And the person be like, "Kidnap me again," meaning I'm ready, come pick me up. And then that would make it look like she was willing to go again. And that would be Keon's cue to pick her up physically. And did they just carry her out of the building and sling her in the trunk? Because there's no cameras. All we have is co-worker's word. But yet the harassment started at the same time the job started. We've got a pharmacist and we have a medical facility. And an illegal pharmacist at that. These people seem like they're a brassy bunch. Very brassy. I don't know. This just seems really, really weird. Really, really weird. Something's wrong with all of it. Right, nobody cares. Thank you. Sounds like a code. Allison, sounds like a code. Kidnap me again. Right? In other words, come pick her up. We've got her ready. Well, Nikki, UK, hun, the only proof we have is the police are saying a co-worker now reported that she overheard her. I don't believe the co-worker. I think this is, oh yeah, co-worker. Allison says, very sus indeed. Why you take all that time at the same time? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you could be right. The coworker could be lying. Rach says, I don't think she ever went into work. She was heard on the phone outdoors, in your opinion. I just don't believe she'd get in the car. Especially when you have an actual pharmacy delivery guy that has to come to that house, or the person has to go to the pharmacy and pick up medication. Either one, depending on how large the facility is and depending on how their rules work. Now, my facility brought the medication to me and it was distributed per individual in their trays. It does sound sus, totally. All right, my lovelies. So I just wanted you to see all that about little Gabby there. And for those of you that were like, I smell rotten egg, I smell a rotten egg, you were right. I thought it was interesting when her mama was like, when when you were arrested, right? Hey, Brooke, I'm so glad I found your channel again. I'm so glad you're covering your case. Well, thank you, Brooke. Thank you for joining us. They should have cameras, Carla. They absolutely should have cameras. I don't know. For me, this entire case just stinks. I think it's going to unravel really quick. And like I said, it's moving really, really fast. We now know how she passed away. We know when. We know where she is. We just need the other two accomplices. And if Gabby's in Maryland, could she still be connected? 2-hour drive? I don't know. Thank you, Rach. Thank you, Prime Candy. Good to see y'all. Say a prayer for Zoe. Zoe needs some love, right? Rach still needs our love. Bring him up to health. Thank you, Nikki UK. Thanks, Allison. Prime Candy. Divine Guidance Tarot, good to see you. You just bought my crying cards? Aw, good luck to you, lovely. Good luck to you. All right. Peace out.